Morning KU, I'm Jill Bainbridge.
And I'm Sam Harms, and welcome back to yet another Friday show. And Jill, it's great to have you back.
Thank you. You know, it's been almost 3 weeks, I can't even believe it, since I've been here. I have missed it. I have missed my little Good Morning KU family.
We definitely missed you.
Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, I was on a mission trip down, it's called LUC, Lives Under Construction. It's a place in southern Missouri that boys who have kind of had an unlucky past can go and kind of start over and rebuild their lives. So I got to get my hands dirty. I got to have some great conversations. So something it was definitely worth skipping a week of school for, but I'm kind of, having to make all that up right now, which is not the most fun. Yeah. But anyway, it was a great week.
Well, that's good. I mean, I'm glad you got to experience that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Actually, though, last night, some real news now, we had the Student Senate debates, which were very exciting. I didn't get a chance to go, but I did get a chance to watch a little bit of it. Did you see any of it?
I did not get a chance to, actually. You want to tell me a little bit about what you know?
Yeah, so basically there are 3 coalitions right now. Grow KU, Crimson and True, and Jayhawkers, and each coalition had a vice presidential candidate and a presidential candidate come and represent them during the debate. And from what I hear, it got pretty interesting. We actually have a clip right now of one of the candidates giving her opinion on some of the issues, so take a look.
How we plan to solve these with our platforms. The first is that with intersession classes, this is going to provide a huge opportunity for graduate students to be able to have more opportunities to work and get more money during intersession class, during winter break, spring break, things.
Wow, that was pretty great. But in other news, as you walk into the Union today, you're going to notice a lot of extra faces because it's Junior Day.
It is. Junior Day, one of the most exciting days, I would say, of my high school career. Yeah. You get to skip a little bit of school and come and see where you're going to be in a couple years. It's pretty early, but I think it's good to have that idea in your head senior year, so it's not that last minute, what am I doing with my life, where am I going senior year kind of thing. So I really loved Junior Day. Did you get a chance to go to Junior Day?
I didn't, but I did go to Senior Day, so I went through that whole last minute rushing, got to pick a school. I wasn't sure where I wanted to go, but of course I'm glad I came to KU though. So
absolutely, a lot of fresh-faced, hopefully future Jayhawks coming in, and they actually had a really cool surprise today. Yeah. Did you see that earlier?
I didn't. You want to tell me?
Yeah, Connor Frankamp actually. We saw him walk through the Union, and I caught a couple of the glances from some of the freshmen and their parents, and I mean, it was just drop jaw, like totally starstruck. And I think that's something we don't really remember when we live on campus. You see Andrew Wiggins walking by you, and it's like, hey, it's we're Jayhawks, we're all in it together. But that's pretty new for them, so they were really excited to see that.
It's definitely something that they'll have to remember.
Absolutely, absolutely. So also in the Union today, we have the blood drive, and we'll have a little bit more on that in a second. But I wanted to talk to you about it. Have you ever given blood before?
I have not. I've tried my hardest, but in high school I never weighed enough, and then now I never have enough iron. And in fact, I was going to try it today, but I was sick all week, so I didn't want to.
That's the worst.
Didn't want to risk that. Yeah.
You have not had good luck with that.
I know.
Man. Well, I didn't really get a chance to in high school. I was too scared, and then I actually did it my freshman year of college, and it was fine. I was a little bit dizzy, but none of those dramatic stories of passing out that you hear from a lot of people. And then I tried again, I think it was last semester, and they gave me the finger prick, and my iron wasn't high enough. I'm anemic, so I kind of assumed that happened. So I was like, okay, just try the other finger, and it worked. So I was good to go. I was excited, ready to do it. And then she's like, oh, by the way, have you been out of the country? And I was like, yeah, I've been to the Dominican. And they're like, oh, well, probably not going to be able to use you, but thanks anyway. So I was a little bit bummed about that. I think for me, it's like a year that you have to wait after you've gone to just like specific, like higher risk countries. So make sure you tell them that. They'll ask you anyway, but before you go through the whole process.
Forget that.
So
definitely something important.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be back in just a second with our interview. Stay tuned.
If I had a superpower, what would it be? It would be magic. Yeah, watch. Is that your card? Is that your card?
The ability to make lots and lots of money.
I could bend silverware with my mind. Is that your card? No. Is that your card?
Or you could just give blood.
Welcome back. My name is Jay Daniels, and I'm here with Tony Zima, who is the field supervisor for the Community Blood Center. We're going to ask him a couple questions about the donation drive that they're having here at the Union. So, hi, thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Great, great. So, tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing today on campus.
Well, today on campus we have drives up in the Union Ballroom from 9 to 3, and also on the Vessel from 9 to 3. So, but if you come, we'll take care of you. We'll take care of you, but we'll be there from 9 to 3 today.
Awesome, great. Okay, and who does and does not qualify to volunteer to give blood, and what are some of the restrictions and warnings that you guys give the donators?
Well, the bottom line is what we do is keep the blood supply safe. So we'll have a series of questions that's nationwide. And the restrictions, basically, if you go overseas, like was talked about before, malaria risk areas, you're going to have a year deferral. So if you go to Haiti on mission trips or Dominican Republic, you may not be able to donate for a year after that. Also with the ladies, 80% of the donors are ladies because the men don't man up. They need to step up to the plate, but the ladies do. So a lot of, with your bone structure, iron deficiency tends to be a little bit of a problem. So eat plenty of meats and lentils and green leafy vegetables. It's very important that you do so, okay?
Of course.
So that is the main thing. A lot of the students, you're not going to have any problems qualifying. It's when you get older and do a lot of traveling is when the issues, and when you have heart issues and so on. So your restrictions, just come on up. You're not going to have many.
Great, great.
Okay.
Okay, and where does all the blood go exactly? Is it local?
Ours is local. Community Blood Center, we have contracts with 73 different hospitals throughout the area. LMH is a big user here in town with our blood. And what's important to understand is that when you donate, it's just not a unit of blood. It goes to someone to save a life, all right? We bring loved ones home or give them a long enough time to say goodbye. That's where the effect is from what you do, okay? That's why it's crucial to give blood. Your generation hasn't had a lot of loss. People before that went through wars and everything else, they donated on a regular basis. Guys, they're retiring. You guys got to step up to the plate. We need you, okay? And I'm being straight as an adult because I've seen cancer patients. I've been there when people have died, okay? You haven't. So it's important that you come and donate.
Definitely, definitely. So have you been getting a good response?
Yes.
With the KU students?
Yes, we have, especially in the Union. The weather has a little bit of impact, okay? It's a little cool outside, so if you don't want to donate in the bus, we got plenty of heat upstairs, okay? Come on up and donate. We've got plenty of staff. They're very well trained. You'll have a good time because we're very big believers in you having a good time. We will spend time with you. We'll joke with you a little bit. You'll have an enjoyable experience.
Great. And is this the last time you guys will be on campus for this semester, or will you guys be returning?
Yes, and then we'll come back in the fall. We'll come in the fall and the spring.
Great, okay. Well, definitely come and check out, see if you qualify to donate, save a life, hopefully, prolong a life, hopefully. Thank you so much for joining us, Tony.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more news. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Michaela.
And I'm Jade. This is your Friday Good Morning KU News Update. For the second time in the past 5 years, a killer has terrorized Fort Hood. Suspected gunman, Specialist Ivan Lopez, had mental problems and was being treated for depression. Lopez killed 3 people at the Texas Army post before turning the gun on himself. 16 additional people were injured. A 2009 mass shooting on the Army base left 13 dead.
A Chicago Transit Authority worker saved a woman's life this week. TSA worker Eddie Palacios jumped in front of a moving train about to hit a woman who had fallen onto the subway tracks. The train stopped when the operator saw Palacio in his bright clothing standing on the tracks just before it struck the woman.
Crews searching for the missing Malaysia Airlines jet began an underwater hunt today for the plane's black boxes along a stretch of remote ocean. According to the USA Today, the Australian Navy ship Ocean Shield and the British Navy's HMS Echo are searching a desolate patch of the southern Indian Ocean. The plane's data recorders emit a ping that can be detected by the equipment on board the ships. But the battery-powered devices stopped transmitting the pings about 30 days after the crash.
Associated Press photographer was killed and an AP reporter was seriously injured in Kabul, Afghanistan after Afghan police opened fire in the car they were sitting in. Andre Niedringhaus was an internationally acclaimed German photographer who had worked with Kathy Gannon, an AP correspondent, for years. Gannon had undergone surgeries, and it has been stated that she is in stable condition.
The Discovery Channel is getting ready to premiere a new reality show called Survival Live, which critics are calling a real-life version of the Hunger Games, but without the killing. 8 contestants will be stranded in the wilderness with 24/7 camera surveillance that viewers can view online. One contestant will be eliminated each week based on how well they've maintained their skills and their physicality. Like in the Hunger Games, audience members can help the contestants, so their success will also determine on audience relationship. The show is set to premiere later this year.
And that will wrap it up for a Good Morning KU News Update. Stay tuned, and after a short break, Tim will be back with the sports.
Tim Cornell here with your sports update. Just 4 days into the baseball season, and we have already seen a lot of action. Only 3 teams have made it through their opening series undefeated, meaning 3 teams have yet to win a game. That includes the Kansas City Royals. The Royals dropped their first 2 games of the season to the Detroit Tigers, 4-3 and 2-1. Both of them ended with walk-off hits by the Tigers. The Royals will look to bounce back in their home opener this afternoon against the White Sox at 4:10 p.m. The San Antonio Spurs saw their franchise-long 19-game win streak come to an end last night to the hands of the Oklahoma City Thunder, 106-94. This was a matchup of the first and second place teams in the NBA. There are just under 2 weeks left in the NBA regular season, and there's still a lot of teams battling for a playoff spot. The NCAA Tournament Final Four is tomorrow, but first the NIT had to wrap things up. The Minnesota Golden Gophers defeated the Larry Brown-led Southern Methodist University Mustangs 65-63 last night. Larry Brown narrowly missed becoming the first basketball coach in history to win an NCAA, NBA, and NIT tournament championship. Instead, the Richard Pitino-led Gophers stole the spotlight in a closely contended game. The NCAA tournament continues tomorrow with some great Final Four matchups. First, University of Connecticut will face Florida at 5:09 p.m. Then afterwards, Kentucky and Wisconsin will face to decide the last spot in this year's championship game. Number 1 seed Florida is the only 1 seed left in the tournament. Number 1 seed Arizona was defeated by Wisconsin in the Elite 8. That's all for sports. Next, let's go out to Michael with the weather. Michael, how are things looking out there?
Well, to make the story short, I made the mistake of not wearing a jacket today, and I don't have enough arm hair to compensate for it, so I'm cold. It is about 39 degrees out here right now, and it's going to get pretty windy this afternoon, so it's going to feel even colder. However, next week it's going to be a little bit better, getting up to 63 on Monday, and then even more, 72 by Wednesday, although it's probably going to rain on Monday. As you can see, it's Junior Day, you got the community blood drive right behind me, and I'm freezing out here. What about you?
If I remember correctly, last week it was also pretty cold and you wore shorts. So hopefully one of these weeks you'll get it figured out.
I don't know. You know, you think it's April in Kansas. It should be warm by now, but you got to remember what state you're living in.
Yeah, that's true. It is Kansas. So this weekend, will it be good weather to go out and do things, or should we just plan to stay inside?
Well, Saturday, tomorrow, it's going to be 63, a lot warmer than it is right now, and sunny. So I would recommend doing a lot of outside activities tomorrow. Probably going to do some intramural softball or just going for a walk around campus, because that might be the only day this week where you get to do that.
Yeah, so you should enjoy it while you can. Well, thank you
Absolutely.
so much, Michael. That will wrap it up for us here on Good Morning KU. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.